Hi guys, so today I wanted to talk about my other reasons for why I write. And my main overall number one reason for why I write is the simple fact that, well, I read a lot. I read a lot of books. And I always felt frustrated when I was little because it seems like, as far as African Americans are concerned, and that's the only, group that I'm really going to speak about because I have experience with that. We either get absolutely nothing at all, or we get stories that take place in the form of like something about civil rights, or about slavery, or about someone who overcame some sort of civil hurdle, and that's it. And I remember always feeling frustrated as a child because, like, I wanted to read books with people, that of course look like me, but it's like there's only so many times, one can read a story about Rosa Parks or about Sojourner Truth, or because I'm from Maryland, about Harriet Tubman. And it's like the kind of stories that I wanted to read when I was little, they always starred characters that did not look like me or they were male. And it was so frustrating. And I guess it's just one of those types of things where, as a minority and also as a woman, you kind of accept, and you kind of mentally teach yourself to accept the fact that, I'm going to read this book. Chances are I'm not going to find someone in here who's like me. So I'm just going to find a character who does not look like me, and I'm just going to attach myself to that character. And I remember the first time I did that, it was it was not with a book. It was well, actually no, I do have two examples. I have two examples. I have a movie example and I do have a book example. My movie example was the movie Aladdin. And I remember when that came out, when Jasmine is a person of color, and I remember thinking to myself, Disney is never going to make a princess that looks like me. Lo and behold, of course, I would have to wait a whole like 10, 15 years, almost 20 years later, to actually, get a princess that actually looks like me. But I remember just attaching myself to her because I'm like, this is it. This is as close and as colorful that it's going to get. This isn't exactly my culture, but whatever. I'm just going to go with it. And I remember also when I was little, one of my favorite main character like book heroines was Matilda. I loved Matilda. I still relate to it even now, with her family and the Wormwoods and them being, obsessed with TV and pop culture, and she's just trying to read her books and have fun. And I really, really loved her character, and I was always afraid. I was always afraid of the Trunchbull. It always scared me and freaked me out. That one room that she had in her office, with with the spikes all over the door. And I remember even thinking as a child, I'm like, how come no one from this school is like going home and telling their parents that, this woman has like these medieval torture devices in her office? But enough about that. But yeah, that's one of the other reasons why I write. That's one of the main reasons why my character Cosmo is a person of color, is because I'm sure that even now, 2015, there are plenty of little girls out there who probably have the same mindset as I do. That they would love to read a book about someone that looks like them and has their mannerisms, has their texture of hair, has their eye color. Because that is something I feel like is really prevalent in the entertainment community. A lot of times, shows and books will come out and they'll, in air quotation marks, say that this person is a person of color. But I'm like, but their hair looks very European. They have blue eyes, and I know that there are, there are African American people who, they naturally do have blonde hair, and they have blue eyes. I'm not saying that those types of people exist, but just from a marketing standpoint, that they say that these characters are people of color, yet they give them these distinct European features. That's something that's really always kind of bothered me. But that's also another rant for another day. But my second reason for why I want to write is that even, when I was little, I always felt frustrated because, like, what few books there were for girls, they were always the same. It was always about being passive aggressive and not talking to your friends, and it always seems like with every single book, the antagonist was always the incredibly mean popular girl who was rich and had nice clothes, and everyone envied her. And everyone always wanted to go to her parties. It seems like that was always like the plot for those books. It's like, hey, we're the underdogs of this story, so we are going to do our best and we're going to try and sneak into this party. And also, while we're at it, we're going to also try and become the prom queen. Yeah, that's what girls get. Yet, boys, on the other hand, they get to save the day. They can slay the dragon, get the princess, get all the gold. They get everything. They get to go on these huge, life changing adventures, while girls, we're stuck in high school trying to become the prom queen, or trying to, talk to our friends or get as many friends as we can. And that's something that's always bothered me. And even now, nothing's really changed that much. I mean, girls are allowed to be a part of the story. They can be smart and they can be brave, but they can only be so smart and so brave. Like they hit a ceiling and they can't go any farther. And I think the greatest example of that would be Hermione from Harry Potter. Like, Hermione could have easily been the main character. She could have easily saved the day. And, like, the kind of thing that really kind of frustrates me about that series is the fact that, it's all said and done and it's over with. But the only thing that people seem to care about is, who Hermione ended up with. Like, this character has done all these great, cool, and amazing things, but no one cares about that. It's all about who she's with. But, yeah. And that's one of the another reason why I'm writing. Like, a lot of books for girls, it's like having a boy or getting a boy or which boy she's with seems to be the main focal point. And it's so annoying. I'm like, why can't a girl go on a journey, slay the dragon, conquer the universe, and yes, have a boyfriend or not have a boyfriend, but it be on the side that not, not having a boyfriend or having a boyfriend not be the main focal point. And I've read a lot of books that have this, what I like to call a false feminist attitude, where, the headline will be, oh, both boys are in love with her, but she's the most feared person in the country. I don't care about that. Why can't she just be the most feared person in the country? Why is who she's with and who she's not with incredibly important? You don't see that in books for boys. That's not the headline. And that's something that really frustrates me. And I want to provide something that's different, something that's against the norm. Like, my main character, she has 3 really good friends, and they're each one of them are different. There's Vicky. She's into journalism. She's the one with the red hair. She's really into journalism. She's incredibly fabulous. And she's really kind of nosy. And then there's next to her is Patty. Patty's very tall. She's very self-conscious about that. She's a little rough around the edges. She really wants to be girly, but she's working on, trying to like herself. And I've already introduced you guys to Cosmo. She's my main character. And she loves to solve mysteries. And she's always wearing cat eye glasses. That's like her thing. And next to her is Martha. Martha is a cutie pie. She's very little. She's the short one of the bunch. She has anxiety issues mostly because she lives in a world where people simply don't like Martians. The world that my characters live in, they live alongside Martians, and there are areas that are for humans, and there are areas also that are specifically just for Martians. And that is something that gives Martha a lot of anxiety. Like, she wants to experience more of life and to not be so anxious, but it's hard to not be anxious when you know that you have a target on your back. And there are people who don't like you for no real reason, simply just because you have green skin. So, yep, these are my girls. I love them very, very much. I can't wait for you all to meet them. I think you guys are going to fall in love with them. Something that I'm trying to do that's different. Like, they all have their own motivations. They have things that they're into. Like, their entire destiny is not surrounded. It's not all about Cosmo. Like, they each have their own opinions, and they have their own destiny and stuff like that. They don't live, and they're not created just to help propel our main character forward. That's kind of something else that I wanted to do, because that happens a lot, I think, in books where you have, like, side characters and they don't have their own motivations. Their motivation is the main character and nothing else. They just simply live for the main character. But I want to do something different. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Um I really hope that you guys like this video. I'll be doing more updates about my writing. Um, I just thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me, and for watching my videos, and for sending me all the positive messages. Just hang in there with me. I'm still working on it. And I'm going to provide a link down in the description below. You can read the first 3 chapters of my novella on Wattpad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please share this video. Thanks, guys.